Welcome to this lesson on how to inspire trust with your team. Great leaders inspire trust. With trust, a leader can align individuals into a high-performing team, capable of achieving the organization's mission and vision. Without trust, a leader will fail to inspire a productive team culture. The first step in building trust is for leaders to trust their team. Leaders need to show that they trust other people before they can reasonably expect to be trusted. It is unfair and unreasonable for a leader not to extend trust to people in the team, and yet still expect to be trusted themselves. It is the leader's responsibility to set a positive example to his or her team, that the culture and beliefs are based around trust, and that the team will only be successful when there is mutual trust. A leader should place great emphasis on creating a trusting environment for his or her team. Trusting others is based on the premise that people are fundamentally good, tell the truth and will try to do their best. All leaders, by their own example of how they behave towards others, are responsible for leading the way and creating a culture of trust. This does not mean that leaders have to trust others completely and without reservation, what you might call blind trust. Instead, leaders need to look for opportunities to openly extend their trust to other people, while taking account of the other person's character and competence, and also the potential risk involved in the particular situation. As people then prove themselves to be trustworthy, so more trust is extended in more situations, and when a leader shows trust and belief in other people's skills and abilities, he or she can then harness their energy, their commitment, and their talent to develop a high-performing team. The opposite of effective delegation is micromanagement, where a manager provides too much input, direction, and review of delegated work. It is important to avoid overly supervising people, and so leaders should instead manage any potential risk by agreeing specific times to review progress. Encourage your people to take on responsibilities and to seek help and guidance when they need it. Delegation is an important skill for leaders to develop, so that they can free up their own time to focus on what they should be doing, and to make the best use of the skills of the people within their team. In so doing, they can offer team members opportunities to fulfill their own ambitions. To delegate effectively, leaders need to show that they believe in other people's ability. Leaders need to show that they have confidence in people, by allowing them the flexibility to work in their own way, provided it does not adversely affect anyone else. Treating people in this way says, "I trust you to deliver the right standard of work on time, and I believe in you." If leaders fail to show appropriate trust and, in turn, become overbearing, they will reduce people's self-confidence, which will stifle their initiative and creativity. This diagram helps illustrate how you can start identifying jobs and tasks to delegate. First, there will be a number of jobs you must do yourself, such as reviewing employee performance, or negotiating major contracts. Then, there will be jobs you can do, but others can help you with. Then, there will be jobs that others can do, but may need your assistance in carrying out, at least in the first instance. And then there will be jobs your employees can do without your assistance. The more jobs you can push towards the outer circles, the more time you will free up to focus on important leadership and management decisions. Another important behavior, which is sometimes easier to say than do, is for leaders to always deliver on their promises, and so by their example, create such a culture within their team. This involves making promises in the first place, so that they are seen to be accountable for their actions and performance, and then delivering on those promises. Leaders should never take the credit for other people's efforts and successes. It is important that they acknowledge the contributions of others both privately, so that people's efforts are recognized, and publicly, so that they explicitly recognize the contributions of others, and so that they cannot be accused of trying to take the credit for successes. Conversely, when things go wrong, leaders need to publicly stand up for their team. People need to know that they will be supported, and that there will not be a blame culture. In turn, when leaders make mistakes, they should quickly admit their mistakes, and look to put things right. Without doubt, leaders should always respect confidences. They should never disclose information told to them in confidence, without the express permission of the other person. They should also be careful about what they say in public about other people, whether team members or other people outside the team. On those occasions when they do talk about other people in conversations, the safest approach to adopt is to always talk about them, as if they were present in the conversation. At the very least, this should mean that nothing unpleasant or hurtful is ever said in public. This behavior helps create a culture within a team, that the leader and team members can be trusted to deal with information sensitively. Leaders should always behave fairly, and be seen to behave fairly, in the way that they treat all team members. They should always base their decisions on evidence and not on assumption or prejudice. Leaders also need to avoid being perceived as having favorites, or even worse, as receptive to nepotism. This means ensuring all employees are where viable, treated equitably, and given equal opportunities. A fundamental requirement of leading with integrity is showing respect for your people. What does showing respect mean? Words that come to mind include consideration, thoughtfulness, admiration, fairness and courtesy. Showing authentic respect for other people should be one of the easiest things for a leader to do. It is after all doing little else other than behaving as a decent human being towards others. Sadly, on all too many occasions, as people move up the hierarchical ladder to become leaders, they fail to show this basic human and leadership behavior as often as they should. All leaders should prioritize respecting others and developing a culture of mutual respect throughout their team. Leaders need to set the standards for all team members to follow, in that everyone should be accorded the same level of respect, irrespective of the job they do and the title they carry, and that level of respect should be set at the highest level, not the lowest. We suggest you develop and use written ethics guidelines, and encourage people to use them as part of deeper discussion and decision-making, not as a rulebook. Consistency is not always a virtue. What we did last time may not be the best decision for a situation with different dimensions. Remember that written codes of conduct, ethics or practice tell employees what the organization stands for, or won't stand for, but the primary influence on the staff is you, the leader. Your works and deeds set the standards for your team. They watch you and listen to you for the real story of what matters. By their own behavior, leaders need to create an environment of mutual respect of differences in background, gender, ethnicity and culture, and they should ensure that their teams embrace diversity, recognizing that diverse teams offer a richness of personalities, experiences and skills that can be used to benefit everyone. Learn how to manage conflict effectively. Learn how to deal with bullying and harassment. And learn about diversity and the benefits it brings. Showing respect means being considerate, thoughtful, courteous and fair. It is important that leaders reflect from time to time on their own behaviors, in the way that they interact with each team member, and how important the little things can be, such as using basic courtesy such as saying please and thank you, respecting other people's time commitments when seeking help or wanting to discuss something with them, turning up to all meetings on time, turning off mobile phones when in meetings, paying attention to other people when they are speaking, and not criticizing people's performance or behavior to other people. Cohesive teams emerge over time, and result from the sharing of norms of practice and shared values. Cohesive teams know how to solve problems together, and have the authority and empowerment to take group and individual decisions. As a team leader, you can build cohesion by first building trust. Gaining your team's trust starts and ends with you. You have to set up a trusting relationship right from the start, and continue to nurture it. Being selfless and adopting a true team mentality are the foundations of building team trust, along with sharing who you are, and what you stand for, and then walking this talk on a daily basis. A trusted leader is one who is confident in his/her own abilities, and doesn't need the accolades of others. Subscribe now and join us in your career journey. Want to learn more? Click on one of our websites to view our range of online business and management courses.